Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Bitcoin Steven and the BTC Guru. What's happening over there?
Oh, I'm happening. That's what's happening.
You're happening over there. I got a email from you this morning about 4:15, I think.
Yeah, I was up pretty early. I got up at 2:30 today. I don't know why. I didn't want to.
Uh-huh.
Tried to go back to bed, but my body said, "Nope, you're up."
Well, I was up at the same time too, or I wouldn't have seen it come across.
It's crazy.
It
Yeah,
is
you know, that's one cool thing about Bitcoin, by the way, is it's going 24/7, 7 days a week, no holidays, no days off. It's programmed to work. It works. It does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
I think we went over this yesterday, but there's a big article about the difficulty adjustment. I think we talked about that, right?
What do you mean the difficulty? Oh yeah,
Well,
because China abandoned all their mining, right? It left a big gap in the marketplace.
Yeah, so it had a gap, and so and the difficulty was high before because there was a lot of miners out there,
right?
That, basically trying to complete the same blocks in the time period. And when that doesn't happen, it knows and it starts lowering the difficulty till it gets that balance again, and then it takes off from there. And that's exactly what it did, which is
it's
awesome.
Crazy how it does that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very if you go back and read the paper, the Natoshi's white paper, it's fairly there's some formulas in there that seem complex if you're not into math and stuff, but it's a fairly simple concept.
Right.
Everything's visible. Everything gets confirmed. Everybody has a copy, and it programs to go up every year. It programs to keep the difficulty at a nice even, basically equal rights to everybody on the blockchain is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry about that. Somebody tried to call in. So that's what I love about the blockchain. It's simple and it works.
Yeah, 24/7 it works.
Yeah,
that's the thing about it. It's always
it's only been down. It's never been down. Never crashed. Never anything. There was one time it was a little glitch when they're installing a fork early on, but that was it. I mean, when I say early on, I'm talking like year 2.
Right. Yeah, year 2.
Year I think year 13. I think somewhere around there.
Yeah, wasn't it? Was it 8 or 9? Yeah, wasn't it 2008 or 2009?
Yeah, right around there. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, when it came live, exactly.
And yeah, it's amazing that it came along so long, and it's taken so long for us to get to this stage where we're really in the adoption, the era of it. People really are starting to adopt it. And another interesting thing to note too, I think I mentioned this on another show, but it took the internet 7.5 years to go from in 1997 there was 150 million users on the internet. And it took them 7.5 years to go to 1 billion. Okay. They're projecting right now, they're saying that this is about the same time for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, they think, has about 100 million. Okay. But they say it's going to be 1 billion users in 4 years.
Wow.
Okay, so it's going to go twice as fast as the internet.
Yeah.
And, the basic law of, most things in business is supply and demand, right? If that the demand is going to go up by 10-fold, in 4 years, but the supply is not going to increase. What does that tell you?
In fact, it's gonna decrease. The difficulty. We're just talking about that difficulty thing,
right?
Every few years it halves, which means it comes twice as hard to solve, and you need twice the power to solve the formulas. And then that there's obviously times like now when it goes the other way because of the demand that's on the blockchain, on the actual network, and so it's programmed to do that. So yeah, so that puts pressure on the demand. What you're just talking about is right. And plus, we were talking about this yesterday. If you look at who is selling right now, any wallet that's been holding Bitcoin for more than 6 months is not selling. Mm-hmm. It's all the recent people that came in and got a little scared because went up to 60, when now it's hanging around 35, and it's probably going to hang around here, maybe take one more dip pretty quick, and then I think it's going to rocket up. My personal opinion, and that's going to be very, very soon. And so the large whales, we're talking 100 Bitcoin and up, they are not selling; they're buying. And
Yeah,
they have the most volume in most buys out of wallets with large holdings than ever. And if you look at the exchange wallets, their inventory is really, really low. They're having trouble fulfilling the trying to facilitate the buys right now because there's not much Bitcoin out there available.
Right. I mean, the people out there that are truly, really see this, they're not selling Bitcoin. I mean, the only reason that they're selling is maybe they're gonna, sell it and recoup some of their investment so they can put that equity somewhere else or do something along those lines. But I mean, the reason that these smart people like Michael Saylors of the world get involved in this is because they see what it is long term. I think I've used the analogy a few times. I think that if you buy Bitcoin, you should think about it like investing in your kid's education. Okay. And just put it in there and don't even think about it for a few years. Okay. And don't look at it. Don't ever think once it's there, just don't touch it. Okay. Because that's what the smart people are doing. That's what the brilliant people out there doing is they're not liquidating their Bitcoin. That's why you say that. So you got the 97 percenters out there that they certainly don't control 97% of the Bitcoin. Okay. They probably control what do they control? Probably
maybe 30-40%.
Yeah, maybe 30 or 40 tops, right? So that's always where where the pressure is going to come is from those people that have bought and they think it's a good deal, but they kind of are trading it. They're doing trading. They'll buy it and they sell it, and then they're just in and out. And Bitcoin isn't really something that you should be in and out about. I mean, it's something that's a really good long-term storage of value. So, don't get into it if you need it back in 3 months or 6 months. That just doesn't make a lot of sense because it's going to keep going up. And if you get rid of it, then you're going to what? You want to buy back in at a higher price?
Yeah. If you look at the historical charts, compare Bitcoin to every other altcoin. So basically altcoins are any other coin besides Bitcoin. Right. Ethereum is an altcoin, even though it's like number 2 as far as volume and market cap goes. But if you compare, Bitcoin always outperforms them every year.
Yeah.
And I know some of you get scared because of the price. You're like, well, it's at 35,000. I don't have 35,000. You know what? You could put $100 a week, and you'll be very, very surprised how fast that adds and how fast that grows. And it's that on that kind of stuff, consistency. Every week I try to buy some Bitcoin. I don't care if it's $50 or $1,000 or whatever. Or every week I'm buying a little bit more. It adds up, and it's something that you can't let that high price scare you. Because
you're going to get compounding growth on it.
Yeah,
you're just going to get compounding growth, and that compounding comes from time.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from time, and so when you can't, and that's one of the real big benefits of owning Bitcoin, right? Is because that you get that compounding. It keeps going up year after year. It keeps going up and getting to be more value. So it just doesn't make sense to buy it with a short term mindset.
Yeah, exactly. And if you go to exchange
with DeFi, you can actually go out and borrow against it, right?
Yeah, exactly. You could borrow against it and buy some more, but you can leverage the Bitcoin you got and get some more, which I've done, which is a great technique. You just got to be careful, and you got to factor in the large dips. And you go look at the historical stuff, and you can figure that out. It's pretty simple, and keep your eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing is most of the exchanges now are paying interest on your Bitcoin. So not only are you getting the growth, they're paying you interest on it. So that's and that interest is, like he said, compounding. Comes back into your grand total.
Liquidity pools. They're for liquidity pools and things like that. Then, right?
Yeah. So you're like, well, I wonder how they're getting the money for interest. Well, I think we talked about this. I think last Monday there's an exchange up in Canada that was like 6 months old, and the guy's, I don't know, $700 million in profit that he did. So the exchanges make a lot of money, and this is a discount exchange that just started, and that was his first filing for taxes. Was revenue around $500 million.
Yeah, I saw Uniswap supposedly is doing like $6 million a day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so, that's a lot of money, plus the growth of they hold a Bitcoin too, and it grows,
Right.
and so that's how they're able to do this. It's absolutely incredible. It's genius. It's a win-win-win all the way around. It seems like in this environment everybody wins, which is why the powers that be, they don't seem to want us to have it, but you can't stop it because nobody controls it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
there's a company that I read this morning. They're investing close to a $50 million in a center in Hyderabad in India for it's Coinbase. Sorry, yeah, it's Coinbase that's doing this. They're investing a big chunk of change, put a center there, even though India has been trying to outlaw Bitcoin forever. But they're still investing that money because they know they're not going to do it.
Right.
Because it's just too much. It's just too much revenue for everybody, and their citizens will revolt if they try to take it out of our hands. And so Coinbase, they're not a stupid company, and they're invested a big center there in a country that always every quarter they're saying something about, hey, outlawing crypto, and they've been saying it for 5, 6, 7 years. And it'll cause the market to go crazy for a while, and then when the market realizes they're not really doing it, it pops back up.
Yeah, and I mean it's going to be, it's going to just shake up industries, just like we were talking yesterday. How the Ken's Coin project that we're working on is going to, I believe it's going to really, what's the word?
Revolutionize.
Yeah, revolutionize. It's going to really upset the way that charities do business. I was we are looking for somebody that's going to be our first project to do with this, right? And so I was looking up the Muscular Dystrophy Association offices yesterday, and it got me kind of thinking about it. And it's like, what? There's ads in there for people to come work at their office and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, if you go throw, $100 at Muscular Dystrophy, okay, literally depending upon how they get that, okay, the fundraising arm is probably going to get at least 60 or 70% of it,
right?
And then by the time they get it over to to Muscular Dystrophy, and they pay all their offices and their salaries and all the other overhead that they've got, there's nothing even really that's even probably going up to research hardly. That's why they haven't fixed this thing in 50 years.
Right. Exactly.
This way we're going to literally be able to cut out all the middle, all that fat that's in there. Okay. And get directly to people that need it. And, these charities, if they really want to be survived, they're going to have to be kind of doing what we're doing. They're going to have to be they can put together a little show, build some community, have their own kind of a coin and really make things happen, because, using that, you'll be able to, allow people to, make donations, but then also get a coin in return, and I mean, it's just going to change the way that charities do business. It can't help but not do it. Honestly, I don't see how it can. And, I've talked to some pretty smart people here over the last couple of weeks, and then I said, figure out how to shoot a hole in this thing. And, every single person said, hey, without a doubt, it's like, I want to be a part of that. I really love that, so.
Yeah, it's going to be fun as we take you all on this journey of basically creating a token from scratch. Like we said yesterday, the step one, you got to get the identity of the token. We got that done. We'll show you that graphic soon. And then step two is actually getting the token created on a live blockchain, and we did it on the Binance blockchain. You can do it on the Ethereum blockchain. You can do it on the ADA blockchain. You can do it on the Bitcoin blockchain. It's up to you. It's a choice, but there's some great tools for Binance. So that's why we did it there. And then the next is getting it out there and proving that there's a use for it and there's a worth for it, and actually doing the operations of what that token is set up for. And that's where the marketing comes in and the partnerships and all that stuff. It's a huge part of a token is your marketing and your partnerships.
Right. Yeah. You got to create community. You have to create community, and you have to add value to that community. Mm-hmm. And, and I think that, we're going to be able to do a lot of things with that. We're going to find a lot of people that just, can want to get behind a feel good project, that how many other coins out there are actually doing anything that anybody can really see? I mean, and how many charities, do you get to see, it always made my heart flutter when I saw somebody like a Make-A-Wish kind of a thing, and I mean, you don't see a whole lot of those things happening anymore. You don't see too many of those stories about, families that have been dealt a really difficult hand and, really need some help, but they're, most of the time they're too proud to ask for it or whatever. And, or they don't know how to go about it or whatever. And, it's going to be it's going to be a joy to, bring some light to their lives. And
I agree.
Make them, see them be happy and have some really good experiences because, I could tell, my brother lived, he lived on a ventilator for 23 years. I mean,
wow, it's a long time to be on a ventilator.
Tough son of a bitch, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
He was really tough. And, but, he had his thing, if he could get out and go sit out by the beach at the boardwalk and just kind of hang out there and watch people and maybe talk to some people or whatever, it's, that's it made him happy, and it's like he didn't get to do it all the time, but and you could tell when he wasn't able to do it because he wasn't happy. And
he was grumpy, probably.
You can't go anywhere, you can't do anything.
Like we all would be.
Dude, this was before the internet. This was back pre times where there's when kids used to go out and play and do all kinds of other stuff outside.
Yeah. Remember that? Remember the sun?
Yeah, remember all that stuff, right? It's crazy.
Hey, I got a question for you. Besides the wheels, Ken's coin, what altcoins are you looking at right now? Are there any that jump out?
No, there's some that I looked at that I thought had some hope with them. I played around with a couple of different deals and just found they were, they just pump it and get excited and really not a lot of stuff happening.
So you got to watch out for the pump and dumps. You got to watch out for the bots, right?
Yeah.
You can see these things in the Explorer.
Well, it's interesting is, I only really kind of had this whole concept of this Ken's coin come to me because of the frustration of dealing with other people in this space and not being truthful to me about things.
Right.
And then me putting a lot of time and effort and energy into something and then finding out that I'm not going to be rewarded on that because somebody was like telling me a story. So that's why, it's like, look, if you want control of anything in this world, sometimes you just got to do it yourself. And, fortunately having a, partner here like you that has the tech background, we're a great mix here. You can take care of the technical side and, I'm kind of a visionary in a lot of respects with that kind of stuff. So we, use that to make this move. And it's, like I said, we weren't even thinking about doing this 3 weeks ago, guys. This is something that's totally brand new. And now we've got a way to literally disrupt the entire charitable world and the way that they raise money.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're having a hard time raising money the traditional ways, just sending people emails going, hey, we need money. Can you send us some, And,
if you the golden rule, love your neighbors yourself. And, usually when you pay it forward, it comes back to you 1,000-fold, it's just kind of laws of the universe.
Right.
That's all. We're just operating under those laws.
We're
not going to violate those laws, which means we're going to have complete transparency, which is real easy in the blockchain. Mm-hmm. The website's going to explain everything that's going on, and that's it. Nothing, no fluff in there. It's just here's what we're doing, here's the plan, here's the mission, and here's how we're executing it. And then it's up to you to participate or not, and for us to be able to be completely visible through the blockchain of what's really happening with that. And that's how you should evaluate all altcoins. Now, if you just want to pure gamble, that's if you like that, blocks the blockchain world is awesome for that. There are ones that out there, but it's a pure gamble. You don't know when they're going to pop up and they're going to crash immediately. So you just got to be careful there. But if you want to put $10 into something that may or may not. What was that headline you sent me? How much did that guy put in?
Yes. I mean, SafeMoon is a good example. SafeMoon, I found out about SafeMoon, I think it was the 5th or 6th of March, which is about 5 or 6 days too late. I found out right after they put up the billboards in Times Square.
Yeah.
Okay. But people initially got in March 1st, $100 is now worth $8 million.
That's amazing. Okay?
I mean, that's crazy. So, it's, and that's what's cool about, some of the altcoins is that, you can, if you spend $200, $200, you could hit a real big winner.
Yeah.
Okay? There's been multiple different stories out there where $200 has returned 7 figures. Okay. And, so there is some good things, but you don't want to just gamble foolishly. You don't want to just gamble foolishly out there. What you want to do is kind of really think it through. And, really look at these things. So, it's kind of really out of frustration of, dealing with people and looking at all these coins and people are, who's the creator of it? Oh, they don't want you to know for whatever reason. And it's like, okay, well, why don't you want us to know? You're not Sakamoto. It's not, you're not the guy who created Bitcoin.
Right.
I mean, why are you hiding? Why are you hiding who you are? And a lot of these guys, they're just doing these things, and then they've got some followings of people, so they can just, they can make some real fast money, okay, just looking after themselves. But that's not a long-term business model. And basically 90% of the people that jump into it are going to get burned and not make any money.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
The whole thinking about this is, we're not even focusing on this from that standpoint at all. We're just focusing on, let's do good with the community. Let's do all this stuff. And everything else takes care of itself if you do things the right way. If you're just listening to, WIIFM, what's in it for me, and that's all you're doing, then, that's not really going to get you where you want to go. I mean, you want to, Peter Diamandis has a great saying. He says, you want to become a billionaire, you're going to solve a problem that helps a billion people. Okay. So, solve a problem that helps a billion people. It's real simple. Okay.
And Bitcoin is helping billions of people. So
it's helping billions of people. Just like when we went back to like supply and demand. I mean, if something costs X now and there are 100 million people using it, and in 4 years there are going to be 1 billion people using it, okay, but there is no more supply. The supply is no more than it was today. Right. Then X has to ultimately become 10X. Okay.
Yep.
Right. It kind of just has to work that way. Right. Couldn't be anything less than that.
Right.
It really couldn't be anything less than that. I mean, if we have 1 billion users, how could it possibly be less than with 100 million users? It's like everything comes down to math, guys. It comes down to math. If you just followed that model, if Bitcoin is 36,000 today, that means that in 4 years, if that math problem I just went through is true, then the minimum price it should be in 4 years is about 360,000 for a coin.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you heard it here. July 7th, 2021. Let's come back in 4 years and let's answer that question and see where we're at.
Yeah.
But I honestly think
and by the way, our show will still be going on in 4 years.
Oh yeah, we will for sure.
We'll be we're not going anywhere else.
We're not going anywhere with this. But I mean, just think about that reasonably. I mean, the supply is not going to go up, okay? But the usage is going to be going up, and within 4 years there'll be 1 billion people that are using Bitcoin. Okay, that's crazy.
A lot of people.
That's crazy. I mean, when there's only 100 million now, and you look at what the price is, and the supply is not going to be any different. Okay. Anytime your demand goes up and supply doesn't go up, I mean, in what world does that really even happen? Usually when you have so much more demand, you just put on more shifts and you create more supply.
Right. Okay? Yeah.
But you don't get to do that with Bitcoin. And with it going down to what is it, 100,000th of a unit or something like that in the Bitcoin?
100 millionth of a unit.
Yeah, 100 millionth of a unit. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy, guys. So it's, everything comes down to math. Pretty much almost everything in life at the end of the day, is a math problem. And these are things that we know. We know there's only going to be 21 million. We know there's 10 million now. And, we know there's going to be 1 billion using it. So
yep.
I'm going to go buy some more after hearing that right now.
Yeah. And then everybody should be mining, right? Even if you're just mining Satoshis right now, you can do it at many places. There's that one I showed last week. There's a mutual fund called Ember that's just starting up, and they're allowing you to mine. Let me show it to you here. Oh, I guess install an update first. Yeah, it's EMBER. Go to the App Store, either in Android or Apple, and you download it and open up an account. You don't have to invest in the fund or anything at all to be able to.
Here, what's the website? And I'll type it into the chat.
Yeah, it's EMBER. I don't know what the website is. It could be IO probably, but still mining.
There you go
on the phone.
That's cool.
But if you go to the App Store, download their app, EMBER Ember Fund. install it, open an account. You don't have to invest in the fund. Go to your settings, and there's a thing across the top that says mine Bitcoin, Satoshis. And that's what I'm doing right there.
There you go. So
you know,
that in the App Store, huh?
If Bitcoin will go to $100 million per Bitcoin at some point in time in the future, that means one Satoshi is worth $1. I almost got $1,000 that I did in just a week or so.
There you go. There you go. All right, guys, we got a lot to do today, so I'm going to kind of cut it short here. I got a meeting I'm going to be on here in a few minutes.
Yep. Yeah, take care, man. Just have a blessed week. We'll be back tomorrow.
We will
give you some more of the Bitcoin headlines, some more update on the Kids Coin, the wheels. If you want to go look at it, you just go to the Binance Explorer, type in Binance Explorer, and type in wheels in the search, and you'll see it.
There you go. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.
Take care.